Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
It's a peculiar T20 World Cup. This didn't have one for such a long time, and then suddenly they're coming back to back. And so a lot of numbers, a lot of indices we look at are what happened in the last 12 months. So what are India's chances? Let's look at the good, the bad. There is no ugly, luckily, for India. India's doing very well. So let's start with the good. And you look at what happened post that T20 World Cup in the UAE, where I thought that game against New Zealand was as low as you could think. It was one of the most forgettable T20 games you will see. And thereafter, India have not lost a single bilateral series. I didn't say they've won every bilateral series because one was drawn 2-2. But that's a fantastic record. You won 26 out of 35 games. You're doing really well. So on that count, I think India are doing fantastic. But you need always to look at the numbers through a slightly different lens sometimes when you get into tournament play. When you're playing a bilateral series, there's no really life and death game. There is a decider from time to time. But you're playing 3 games, sometimes 5 games against the same opposition. For India to win this T20 World Cup, India will have to win 4 knockout games. I think the games against Pakistan and South Africa will effectively be knockout games. If you get past those, the semi-final and the final is a knockout. Tournament play is very different. India in bilateral is a beast. India in tournament play, not quite. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at India. So what is the biggest plus for India? Always been a batting country. The batting is looking really good. You look at all the indices. Overall strike rate is in the mid-140s. That means you're playing about a 175 kind of game every day. You're hitting a lot of sixes in the power play. I'm only looking at the difference between what India was doing and what India is doing. And I think it's a startling stat, even though India have played more games. But to go from 20-odd sixes in the power play, 25, 26 sixes in the power play, to about 74 sixes in the power play is good. I know you'll say, yeah, small grounds, played in India, more games. But it's still a number that hits you, because that is the manner in which India now wants to play cricket. And you can see that in Rohit Sharma's performance. Averaging 30, 31, do you want more? Yes, you want more. But you want the strike rate to be more. 31, 147 is fantastic. And I like the fact that it's rubbing off on KL Rahul and Virat Kohli. Last few games, you look at the manner in which they've played. KL Rahul's numbers aren't great, but I think if you look at the last 4 or 5 games, the intent is starting to be visible. Those numbers are dragged down because of what I thought was actually a very, very good innings in Thiruvananthapuram on a difficult pitch. But I think KL Rahul is getting there. If he's in form, wow. I mean, he has the same effect at the top of the order that Surya Kumar Yadav has later. So I'm not too worried about those top 3, in spite of the fact that a lot of people are alluding to the top 3. Because India's power play numbers are number 2, India's death numbers are number 2. It's the middle overs where India are winning, and that is why I think the sky is such a phenomenon. India's batting today is built not around the 2 of India's greatest white ball players, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. They are setting it up for the new age players to follow, which is Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya. And sky has been fantastic. I mean, it's easy to look at Surya Kumar Yadav's strike rate, which is 184, fantastic, among the top among everybody that's played the game. But it comes at an average of 40, which means he's giving you depth and speed, which is what you want from number 4. Sometimes you get very good number 4s who'll average 40, 45, but strike at 128, 130. What Surya is doing, which is what very, very few players in the history of the game have done, is he's giving you average and strike rate both. Which means, as I said, he's giving you substance and he's giving you speed, which is something we're starting to see in Hardik Pandya as well. Hardik Pandya's stint as captain of Gujarat Titans might well go down as the turning point in his life. Not worried about the batting. Before I close on the batting, there's one major issue that India need to worry about, which is no left-hander. You might not play a left-hander in the top 6. And India's strike rates against left-arm spin as a result suffer. India's best destroyer of left-arm spin at the moment is Ishan Kishan. He's not in the squad. India's opponents, Keshav Maharaj, there's Shakibul Hasan, there's Mohammad Nawaz. So everyone's got a left-arm spinner to target India against, and there isn't a batsman. That's where India missed Jadeja. Even though Jadeja's strike rate against spin is not the greatest, but India had that option. Also, one day you'll be 30 for 3. Jadeja can come in and bat at 30 for 3. So I think Jadeja is going to be a big miss in that order. I think overall batting in pretty good hands. I said good and bad at the start, isn't it? The bowling is a big worry. Bumrah is a giant-sized hole. India had 3 pillars they were entering this T20 World Cup on. Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah. It's a giant hole. And now the key bowler becomes Arshdeep Singh. So Arshdeep Singh just has to have a very good tournament. But that just changes the dynamics completely, in that now taking wickets in the power play becomes a key, because India are leaking about 65, 70 runs in the death overs. That 19th over, it's almost going to become like number 4 before the 2019 World Cup. Who bowls the 19th over? So you have to bowl well in the power play. And so your two key bowlers now become Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the power play. He has to give you wickets in the power play. Luckily, his numbers are fantastic. And you have to finish Bhuvneshwar Kumar by 13, 14, because then his numbers take a beating. When you look at Bhuvneshwar Kumar's overall numbers, keep in mind that 18th, 19th is pulling those down. Then you realize how good they actually are. So Bhuvi at the top, Arshdeep at the bottom have a key role to play. If Harshal Patel can get into form, then you're looking really good. But otherwise, I think bowling, death bowling is a major issue for India. What I fear is that because India are leaking so many runs at the back end, if India are batting first, there might be a feeling that I need to get another 15, 20 runs more, which is a lot of you who follow T20 cricket closely will realize is the worst thought you can have as a batting side going in. Because if you say, I need to get 190, you'll get 145. If you say, I need to get 160, 165, you might end up getting 180, 190. It's just the way it works sometimes. So I think bowling is an issue for a team that seeks to win the World Cup. It's the bowlers that tend to win tournaments more than the batsmen. And that's why I'm a little hesitant about putting India among the lead contenders. But if the batting can fire and the bowling can hold its own large boundaries, never know. That leaves somebody we don't talk about enough in T20 cricket, and that is Ravichandran Ashwin. Look at his numbers in T20 World Cups in the past. Yes, you might say that a lot of them were played on the subcontinent or in the West Indies. That helps spin bowlers. But still, those numbers are fantastic. But in this side, with the large boundaries and the fact that you want to hold your lead bowlers back for the death overs, Ashwin gives you very interesting choices in the power play. If you have a lot of left-handed openers in the opposition, you may not want to bowl Akshar Patel too much in the power play. Ashwin gives you that option. And much to my great joy, he started trying to hit the big shots because he knows coming in at 7 or 8, he's going to have 4 or 5 balls only. So I won't be surprised if India go in with Akshar Patel and Ravichandran Ashwin. So this would be my first 11 going into the first game, with Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, your top 3. Sky and Hardik Pandya, your keys, your pillars at 4 and 5. Dinesh Karthik, your finisher at 6. Akshar Patel and Ravichandran Ashwin at 7 and 8. And Arshdeep, Harshal Patel and Bhuvneshwar Kumar to round it off. So what's a little odd about this preview? How many times did I say Virat Kohli in this preview? And yet, which is the part of the world that Virat Kohli likes playing in the most? It's Australia. Ball doesn't swing that much. Pace and bounce is on offer. Virat Kohli loves pace, he loves bounce. It could also, I suspect, be a more force and run between the wickets tournament rather than just close your eyes and swing the ball out of the park into the next suburb kind of tournament. That is straight down Virat Kohli's alley. Run hard, hit the boundaries, hit the gaps. So don't be surprised if at the end of the tournament, Virat Kohli is standing up and saying, yeah, that was my tournament.